Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. We are in a brand new day. Our teacher for this week is Lao Tzu. And Lao Tzu's message for us today is about being present. So let's get right into the thought for today. Not being present always means that we are out of alignment. Out of alignment with what? Well, out of alignment with life itself, with reality, with what is. When we're not being present, when we're not facing this moment exactly as it is, then some, or most likely a lot, of our energy is being spent on a wish that this moment was different. And what if all the energy spent in resistance to this moment was simply spent in dealing with what this moment calls for? Somebody, good morning. Hello. Danae, good morning. Beatrix, a very good morning. Awesome seeing you guys. Hello. So a few thoughts from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu says, one who lives in accordance with nature does not go against the way of things. One who lives in accordance with nature does not go against the way of things. He moves in harmony with the present moment, always knowing the truth of just what to do. The picture that thought always creates for me, going not against the nature of things, but moving with things. The thought that comes to my mind is moving with life as life moves. Can we become better at moving with life as life moves? Anthony, good evening. It's good to see you. Hello. And that picture always very clearly brings up a surfer on a wave who has to clearly understand that he has no say in what the wave does. Lao Tzu says he does not go against the nature of things. Now that might feel, or very easily feel, like we're trapped in a place that we just have no control. And the truth is that we don't. We don't have any control. But when you look at this image of the surfer, it's clear to see what he does have control over. Because if it were you or me, likely we would have fallen off of that wave even if we had a great wave to surf, because we don't have the skill. What he has control over is developing his skill. And now he's able to surf that wave by not going against nature, but in moving as life moves. Maggie, good morning. Charlene, good morning. Hello. A few more thoughts from Lao Tzu. I'm getting sidetracked here. He says, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. He says the past has no power to stop you from being present right now. Only your grievance about the past can do that. What is grievance? He says, grievance is the baggage of old thoughts and emotions. Lao Tzu says, he who controls his thoughts about the past controls his future. If we're able to do better at not letting our thoughts about the past hijack us so much, this has a huge influence over our future. Last thought from Lao Tzu is, new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings, and that's exactly where we become trapped often, isn't it? Because it feels like a painful ending. So much so that we struggle to be present in the next moment and the next moment. This last quote from Lao Tzu about painful endings is a simple example of how we often struggle to stay present. Imagine for a moment a door slammed in your face, just an inch in front of your nose. How much energy will you spend holding on to the idea that this door used to be open? Will you become trapped in a story about the past, in a story about how this door used to be open but now it's closed? And will that prevent you from ever getting past this closed door? Or will you step into presence with complete acceptance of the reality that this door is now closed? It is only when you are present that you are able to make yourself available to what this moment offers, and every moment offers possibility. So ground yourself in presence. Take a look around and see that there are other doors to go and knock on. A much more productive application of your energy. So if you're ready, today's meditation is called The Power of Now, the art of being right here, right now. You can close your eyes and we'll float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, then slowly let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. While you continue your full body breathing, feel yourself rise with every inhale. Feel yourself fall with every exhale. And we'll have a quick conversation about why it's so very human to struggle being present. So we have these conversations about being more present, but there is a challenge. And all this challenge calls for is for us to develop the awareness of when we are not present. But certainly not to judge yourself for struggling. because it can be tough. So as you continue your full body breathing, we'll have a quick conversation about the science of our thoughts. Of course, we can think conscious thoughts, but also, since we've been born, our subconscious has been recording all of our thoughts and experiences, all of the voices around us. And our subconscious delivers these thought patterns to us daily. Depending on which study you read, apparently we think anything from 40,000 to 80,000 thoughts every day. That is an avalanche of thinking. And clearly 40,000 to 80,000 thoughts cannot all be consciously chosen thoughts. This is the stream of thinking our brain delivers. Just like sweat glands produce perspiration on autopilot, our brain delivers this 40 to 80,000 thoughts every day on autopilot. But this also means that at the very least 80 to 90% of these thoughts are on repeat. It gives us 30,000 to 60,000 thoughts today that are the same as yesterday and the same as the day before. The same old thoughts on rinse and repeat. This is of course just being human. There's nothing wrong with this. This is how our brains are designed. But we can become better at being aware of this. Because when we don't realize that the thoughts we think are mostly old thoughts, then we are not aware of how our present moment is always being hijacked by the past. Now, this is likely to happen, but if I take a step back and I see it happening, if I see how my thoughts are hijacked by the past, then I am not hijacked by the past. But when I'm unaware, then I am always acting from these old thoughts every day. And if I am always acting from these old thoughts, then I am also always creating and recreating the past. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. And lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you're unable to join us for the whole meditation, this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening, and feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, toy with this word, presence, being present. What does it mean to you? What is your relationship with being present? Take your next big breath. We have heard that it is the nature of our brains to produce an incessant stream of thinking that is all from the past, all of it old thoughts on repeat. So the truth is, we are likely to feel like we're in this struggle with these old thoughts always trying to hijack our presence. It doesn't have to be a struggle though. It could just be an awareness. And when we are aware of this, we can take a step back and not be hijacked. So in order to help create this awareness, with your next big breath as you dive deep into you, I want you to feel out this concept, this idea, the thought of what this moment should have been. Because from our past thinking, we have most likely come up with an expectation of what this moment should be. What is your experience with your own thought of what this moment should have been? Hold that concept for a moment. Do you sometimes become hijacked by your thought of what this moment should have been? Take your next big breath. Can you remember the last time that you were unhappy because of the thought of what this moment should have been? When the present moment arrived, but it didn't arrive in the package that your brain has predicted. And because you were unhappy about what the moment turned out to be, you were struggling to be present for what the moment is. Can you remember the last time that you were unhappy because you couldn't let go of your thought of what the moment should have been? Take your next big breath. We'll use some really simple examples. And you can use these examples to help you rehearse having awareness of how your mind becomes hijacked, and choose to stay present. While these examples are really simple, you can use your own examples too. I want you to imagine yourself driving to a meeting for which you're probably going to only just be in time, almost late. And on the way to this meeting, your vehicle suffers a flat tire. And there you are, stranded at the side of the road, with the clock ticking, and you're definitely going to be late for this meeting. In your experience from the past, how likely are you to be stuck in the thought of what this moment should have been? I should be on my way to this meeting. I shouldn't need to be dealing with a flat tire. Of course, we can become so stuck in that thought that we don't take action in the present. And the action that is required, of course, is put down the story of the past. Focus on what is in front of you right now. A tire needs to be changed. How long would you hold on to the thought of what the moment should have been and be completely unhappy? How quickly could you pivot to what this moment asks you to step up and do? Put the story down and change the wheel. Take your next big breath. We'll use another really simple example. You have planned a birthday party for someone. The invitations have been out 2 months ago. And it is the morning of the birthday party. Of course, as for most of us, the biggest space we have is outside. And we enjoy having the party outside. But on this day, what we couldn't have known 2 months ago is that it's raining. And our plans for having this party outside seem to clash with reality. And we have that instant feeling, the thought of what this moment should have been. I should have been able to put a party together outside. How much will you be attached to the thought of what this moment should have been? How much unhappiness will you create inside of yourself because you can't let go of the thought of what the moment should have been? How easily would you be able to just open your arms to what this moment makes available to you? And maybe this is not as convenient as it could have been, but the party can be moved inside. It's likely that everyone visiting will enjoy it as much. It's likely that the only person being really unhappy will be you if you can't let go of the thought of what this moment should have been. How would you deal with it? How easily would you be present? Take a moment to rehearse this. Take your next big breath. One more very simple example. You've arranged coffee or tea with an old friend, someone you haven't seen for a while, and you're very excited to catch up. You already know what the conversation will be like, reminiscing the good old days. You have your talking points ready, all of the things you'd like to talk about during this coffee date or tea date. But the moment shows up and your friend is not quite her bubbly self. You're trying to talk about the good old days, but she seems to not really be into it, not responding. Are you going to keep trying to push your talking points? Are you going to keep holding on to the conversation you saw in your mind before she arrived? It's very human to do that. We've already discussed how our thoughts from the past hijack our present. Or how easily could you put down the story of the past? Be open to what this moment makes available, and hold a space for your friend to perhaps have whatever conversation is on her mind. How easily would you be able to pivot? Take a moment to rehearse this. Take your next big breath. Let's take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. And just one more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. The title of today's message is, How much energy will you waste banging on the door that used to be open? How much energy will be lost while you keep holding on to an old story of what this moment should be? I think it was Thich Nhat Hanh recently that said, can you die to the things of yesterday and make yourself available for today? I'll read to you one more time how Lao Tzu puts it. He says, one who lives in accordance with nature does not go against the way of things. He moves in harmony with the present moment, always knowing the truth of just what to do. He says, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present, says Lao Tzu. But he also says the past does not actually have any power to stop you from being present right now. It's only your grievance about the past. It's your attachment to the thoughts of the past. He says, what is this grievance? It's the baggage, the old thought and emotion. Lao Tzu says, he who controls his thoughts about the past controls his future. And he reminds us that new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. And these painful endings certainly have a habit of hijacking our thoughts if we don't recognize them as new beginnings. Of course, we need to have the understanding that our brain that keeps hijacking us with thoughts from the past is not a failure. This is how brains are designed. We can, though, develop the awareness that observes exactly how our brain does this. The awareness that witnesses how our thoughts from the past intrude on our present. We can see it happening. We don't have to pretend that it doesn't. But if we are available to see how our thoughts from the past are intruding on this present moment, when we can see it happening, we are in fact being present. And this makes available to us choice. The choice to move our attention to what needs action right now, instead of becoming lost in the thoughts of the past. So be kind to your human. Be kind to your human brain. And whenever you realize you've been hijacked by the past again, this is the invitation to practice. This is the invitation to take a few big breaths, recognize the hijacking from the past, and then shift your attention to what this moment makes available. Because every moment presents opportunity. We'll take the last few big breaths together. 5 breaths of gratitude. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for this moment to pause and set the intention of being present. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for understanding that I am human though, and by being human I have a human brain which is likely to give me anything between 40,000 and 80,000 old thoughts today. I realize it's not a failure when thoughts of the past intrude in the present moment. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for getting better at recognizing, having the awareness of when I get hijacked by old thinking. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for getting better at directing my attention to what it is that this present moment calls for. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. I always want to remind you to be kind to the human that you are. Because even as we get better at knowing this, we're still living in a human body. We still have a brain that has recorded millions of thoughts from the past and will serve them to us in a constant stream of thinking every day. So even when we know what to do, we have programming that we will be aware of every day. Be kind to yourself as you slowly get better at this. Thank you, Danae. Colette, good morning. Thank you. It's great seeing you. Thank you, Beatrix. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, beautiful humans. Have a beautiful day. Ciao, ciao.